but it's about to be. And because of you amazing, incredible people, what we're doing with no meaningful advertising at all in any way, and just human to human, like getting ready to rock and roll. We're at 500 people, like 490-ish, registered, ready to rock this weekend. That number will go higher. I'm sure people will be in and out a bit, but it's awesome. But what is most important is that you're merging ecosystems this weekend, is that you have your people there, you're merging ecosystems. And what I'm present to is just the rollout of the expansion of this. And it's about you and your leadership occurring. And that's what this is about. This is not a leadership program, because I think that the phraseology of leadership is like a broken phraseology. It's like, be a leader and, like carry yourself in a certain way. And, being a leader is being able to have people say yes, and knowing that the yes that you're going to have them say makes sense for them. And having the courage to tell people the truth, having the courage to tell people the truth, even if it's a little uncomfortable, and to not fall into the false paradigm that if you're telling somebody something and going from hello to yes with them, that somehow it's for you, about you, even if it's how their brain and nervous system is wired. Because whenever people are seeking a yes from us, we think somehow there's something wrong. And some might be for us to stop smoking, stop drinking, get in better health, stop eating Twizzlers at 10 o'clock at night, which, by the way, 2 of the last 3 days I've not eaten sugar. So thank you very much, as a quick footnote. And getting ready for this weekend to be in a peak emotional state. But whenever we're seeking yes from people, leadership is not just the courage to tell people the truth, it's the courage to master a formula, to confront yourself for enormous acceleration so you have the ability to go from hello to yes. Because telling people the truth is not leadership. Having the courage to tell people the truth is a portion of leadership, but you are not complete in your leadership if you're just able to tell people the truth. It's that how there's an integrated formula and process for them to get to where they want to go and what's happening in their life. And that's what we're unpacking this every day here, by the way, and stepping into this weekend as we merge ecosystems, build our platforms, and move forward. And that's what this weekend's about. And I could not be more fired up and excited. And what leadership also looks like, right? And by the way, right, there's all kinds of optimizations and what have you. But what leadership also looks like is what Frank and Deepak did this week in the 8 a.m. calls. Leadership is what it looks like to innovate and optimize and to put flags in the ground. And like, that's what we're talking about. And we're also going to unmute Michael Smikin this morning as well. And we'll get to Michael in a couple minutes. But first, do we have Frank and Deepak?
Yes, sir.
The FD show is right here.
FD is in the house.
There we go. So, FB, why don't you guys take it and say, what'd you do this week? Some people may not know. Like, what'd you do this week? What are you proud of? What happened this week? What's happening?
Frank, go for it.
All right, I'll go. What do we do? Man, we put a challenge out there for people to set their flags. We started every day reading 2 of the scrolls to refresh people's memories and to put it into their fiber, how important those are. And then we set the standard. Deepak and I set our flags early in the week, showed everybody how it's done, and then invited people to step in and do it. And we had a great group of people that really owned their destiny and just crystallized inside themselves and within the community how important that is to do. And just great example of people stepping up all week. Really proud of everybody.
Awesome, Frank. And Deepak, how'd that feel for you?
So first of all, John and the Unblinded community, I just want to thank you for giving us the space to help accelerate people to their dreams. It's just been amazing. And like when you talk about leadership, I think, Frank and I this week, in your language, we were at cause. We caused this leadership to happen. We caused these things to happen. And when I hear stories from like Stacey Frederick, it was like, yeah, I planted a flag and then I've already passed it. I'm 50 miles past it. And I got to plant a new one. It's just like, it lights me up. Like I was just super fired up. So I know what's going through your emotions when you see acceleration. And Frank and I got a taste of it this week, and it was beautiful.
Awesome, man. You did an absolutely fantastic job. And I want to acknowledge, and let's get D Rush unmuted as well, if we could, team. I want to acknowledge Siobhan, who started this new progression and hosted in her leadership the 8 a.m. call. And it began. And I would acknowledge the beautiful and phenomenal job she's doing in her leadership as somebody who is a professor, teaches in college. She has taken every program imaginable under the sun. And she is present here and sees her future in this work. And I'm so grateful for that. And she's a lunatic, straight up. You want to talk about tough? This woman defines tough. She had a surgery, and I couldn't believe that in that same day that she was on her Real Raw Open. She's like, well, I'm not going to let these people down, And I told her straight up, we spoke last night. I'm like, Siobhan, if that was me, and I think I'm pretty tough, I'm like, there's no way I would have been on that day. I can't believe what you did. And then, all the sort of dynamics of anesthetization and, whatever else was, eliminating and minimizing pain had completely worn off by last night. And she's like, no, I still want to keep our coaching call. And that's leadership and straight up rock star warrior. So thank you, Siobhan. And Joe Hagan. Joe just said, oh yeah, I'll take that leadership, and I'm going to bust out some scrolls, and I'm going to show you what it looks like on heart-centered Wall Street style. And everybody thinks that, Wall Street may have been all head. Let me show you the hearts I dug into for years and years and years, training people to fight for their family, their life, and their future in the space of one-on-one, hand-to-hand human communication over a telephone, with getting hang-ups and hundreds of dials a day and all kinds of insanity. And Joe, thank you for your trailblazing leadership on it. And Deepak and Frank, just absolutely straight up rockstar warriors. And of course, all you other amazing folks that have participated with Siobhan, with Joe, with Frank, and Deepak have been amazing. And, thank you, Deepak, for that. And Frank, for the acknowledgement of Stacy. And yeah, so what, Frank, we love to talk about why. And I want to break the pattern of this is why, and then we fall into our why, dot, 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 our fixed soundbite. What I really want to know is on a visceral, guttural, raw level, what is driving you right now in your life, Frank?
What's driving me right now, what's guttural for me, is I just had a grandson, and I get a second chance at raising a baby. And, I'll be damned if I don't do an amazing job with this kid. And that's what's guttural for me is, I got another grandson on the way in February, and I want to create a legacy for these kids, that they remember me, and that they have, the trappings of my success. And yeah, that's what's jazzing me right now, man. It's just leaving a great legacy for my kids and my grandchildren right now. Really stepping up.
Congratulations on that. Deepak, what's driving you? Visceral, guttural, level. Yeah, we want to change the world, make the world a greater, all those things. I get it. But what sits in your emotional construct as you approach this very day, today?
At my core, it's how do I be an example for my kids? How do I be an example for my kids' kids? How do I be an example for generations to come? Because I have the ability to do it. And that's what drives me. It's I need to utilize that ability and just execute. It's not just for me, it's for generations to come. That's what's driving me.
All right, thank you, Unblinded team, for getting me live and going. It is Fun Friday, so I'm in Skullcap on Fun Friday-ness. So, and stay with us for a sec. Michael Smiken, you out there?
I am. Good morning, Sean.
Okay. So, what's up? How are you, brother?
I am super awesome. Can I just have a little bit of space here, Sean, and just say,
Yeah.
Deepak and Frank, wow, right? Like, wow, 8 a.m., you know, that level of energy, that level of passion, that level of like just raw energy, like got me going this morning in a way that I've had challenges doing recently, you know, being separated from my team. So can I just like literally bring that out and just say how appreciative I am of the two of them. You know, we've had so many awesome conversations over the last like 2 weeks, but today they like brought it in a huge way. Like the whole team, but like those two, boom.
Yeah. And I want to shatter. Thank you, Michael. Actually, and Michael, what drives you on a visceral, guttural level, not soundbite in your body, not in your head? What is driving you today?
I mean, it's literally overcoming challenge, right? Like this, we could have been devastated, destroyed, set back, you know, stagnant during this whole COVID-19, you know, nightmare. But like just overcoming that challenge, being able to deliver for my team, make sure that they had safety, security, you know, in a time that you know there was a lot of insecurity, a lot of uncertainty, and so I feel like I've been able to do that, and as a result, like I've kind of given up growth, and I've given up like change, and I've given up finding distinctions, and really just setting outrageous outcomes, which I know are completely doable. And so it's overcoming challenge, hitting that acceleration, hitting that growth, and doing the things that I know are best, you know, for me, for my team, for my family. So that's what's present for me.
Awesome. So I want to shatter a paradigm. And this is interesting, guys, right? So one point, like it was, oh, I'm blinded. And I don't know, was that about like, you know, Adam, Fernando, Sean, that thing, and you know, what's the sales training and blah, blah, blah. And believe it or not, guys, you know, I've been teaching this forever. Michael, have I been teaching this since the day I met you? Well,
yes, 100%. Yes.
Okay. So, and long before that. And so this has been life. But an interesting thing can happen for people, and this is where we step into our leadership, is people can make up stories. And so, Michael, I am super confident that you and other people at Calgary Law saw Unblinded as something else over there. We're not going to get into why, right? Because and I'm validating the whys around it and how people were received by people in leadership from Blinded in the early stages, and how like we're not getting into why that occurred, but is it true and factual that there was a feeling from you that Unblinded was something over there that developed at some stage?
Yeah, yes. That I don't think that's a huge secret. I've shared that with you.
Okay. And so when I'm looking to put a flag in the ground, and have you seen an amazing evolution beginning, let's say, in May to today, accelerating through August, September, October to today, that would present the ability for you to see now Unblinded as something quite different than what it would have felt like, let's say, in January and February?
Yeah, I think you're being very kind in the way you phrased that sentence. I think what you meant to say was, are you now unblinded to what was actually happening when you thought other things were happening? And the answer is unequivocally yes.
Yeah. And no, by the way, I'm going to lean in, brother. I'm going to say you had every right to feel that way. So did Rob Gill, and so did a lot of people I love and care about very deeply. Right? Because of the way that people were received and the way that things were occurring. Yeah. Like, so you had every right, and I validate those feelings. And then we put a stop to it and we changed it. Fair statement?
Yeah, it is fair. I think you were being, you were taking too much blame for that. Like a lot of it had to do with not even coming close to understanding what it was you were talking about or doing, because it was super advanced science. It really was.
Yep. And so what I want to lean into for everybody in the leadership, Frank, Deepak, everybody, here's the point. And why we're saying this is because Rob Gill, Michael Smikin were two, other than the FA baseball team and my children, were the people who received the highest degree of nonstop, intense training in the formula from me. Michael being the number one person, and I would say my son Tyler, right? In the most concentrated doses, because they're open. My daughter's a little less open, but still received lots. Tyler received endlessly, right? Michael received endlessly. And I'm going to say this, I think Tyler, my son, felt the same way. I think everybody felt weird when this started in the beginning, right? But here's the key, right? Here's the key. You in your leadership, Deepak, Frank, D. Rush, Diana, Gina, Lorelei, L. Anderson, Stacy, Patricia, and all the names I didn't say have the same dynamic. Michael, do you trust me, love me, and believe in me?
100%.
Right. And he still wasn't listening. Not because of Michael, right? It's not because of Michael. And so Rob would say the same thing. And I love and trust and believe in Michael. Michael saved my ass multiple times in my life. We don't have 2 top 100 national jury verdicts without this dude. And the point, the leadership check-in, because we have begun for this weekend, is I've had to tell Michael this 57 effing times. And I'm not blaming him for it. Because people have had to tell me things 57 times. It's the natural part of humanity. But we fail. We don't fail. We do not succeed at a masterful level in our leadership if we give up, if we stop confronting. And the rule of confronting that we'll talk about all weekend is you're not done confronting until you're through to the truth or you change the relationship, right? You're not through until you align on truth or you change the relationship. That's what confronting means, in love and empathy. And I love Michael, and I love Rob, and I love my son. And yeah, I think it felt weird because when we would talk about what this is going to look like someday, like they didn't see Adam, they didn't see Fernando, and they didn't see the other gentleman that was on stage. And I'm saying respectfully, but honestly, being shushed. And they're sitting there going, what are you doing, Sean? Dad, what are you doing? Right? Michael, were you thinking, what are you doing at some of those points?
I mean, Sean, I wasn't just thinking about it. I was saying that.
Right. So what we're leaning into is you assemble your 5 people, your ecosystem merger partners for this weekend, your future, right? If Michael Smikin, he earned and more, $1 million bonus check. We co-created magic and unbelievable things countless times together. If I had a hard time going from hello to yes with this brother, who's my partner in multiple ventures, Calgi Law, Fit to Exit, Innovation Law, right? All of these things. If I'm having a hard time going from hello to yes with a dude in every magic trick in the world and believes in me completely, I empathize that some people, it's going to be difficult to get the next yes and complicated, but it doesn't mean we stop. And so, Michael, right? Are we at a yes yet? And if we're at a yes, Deepak and Frank, I would appreciate if you would ask Michael Smikin what flag he wants to put in the ground right now.
Sean, 100%. We're at a yes.
Okay, so Deepak, Frank, want to ask Michael what flag he wants to put in the ground?
Mike,
Absolutely.
what you got, brother? You've you stated it this morning, but now Sean has lit a fire. So you've got to come clear and come clean. What is your flag, brother?
So I promised, Sean, you weren't there for this, but this morning I committed myself to becoming a top 10 influencer in the Unblinded movement. I committed myself to consistently and a disciplined way, adhere to the process mastery that you've taught me over the period of 12 years to really learn all of the distinctions that you've developed in the last 6 months, and to be able to say that I know this formula cold. That's what I'm committed to.
I love you. And notice Michael wasn't committing to me. He was committing to himself. He was committing to the movement. He was committing to team and all these things. And this is what a team sounds like, because this is what we would say to each other playing high school football, right? We would sit and we would commit to each other and what we're going to do. So, Michael, I suggest getting some accountability partnership around the space. Frank, Deepak, others, connect up with Michael, and let's be real accountability partners. And lovingly challenge one another and kick each other in the behind, right? Figuratively, no physical violence, right? Figuratively, right? Figuratively, about getting stuff going. And Michael, brother, the world needs you. It needs Deepak. It needs Frank. It needs D-Rush, I'm going to bring up in a second. And I am so proud of you. And I want to also honor this, that one of Michael's greatest time gifts right now, because not even a challenge, gift, realities, is the husband and father that he is. And this man is committed to being an unbelievable husband and father. And I honor you, Michael Smikin, for that. This is a dude who, before he would miss some time with his family, would get up at 2:00 in the morning to do work. So I honor that, and I validate that and you and your amazing and wonderful family, Michael.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So let's rock it, brother. It's going to be an amazing weekend. We're going to have some fun. Michael, love you. Love Fred Pinto, right? And you're going to bring Fred. It was a great call today. And let me explain like social proofing. So I got a call with Fred, and I want to thank Mike Adams for the beautiful things you said, because, you know, Fred and Michael have been working their asses off. And Fred and Michael have been getting a lot of advice and information from wonderful people that we know mutually. Fred and I are platinum partners together. And they've been like here, but sort of not here, and like, but working hard, right? And Mike Adams is like, dude, look, this is what's up and what's been happening. And Fred was like, I can't believe like all this, like, but it probably has taken dozens of conversations and not arguing. But there's like the knowing, yeah. Like Deepak, you might talk to somebody and be like, yeah, I get it. I know what you're talking about. Like you're talking about, you know, I'll work with you, and, you know, we'll do like a Facebook Live together, right, Deepak? And you're like, yeah, but no. Like, you know, I get it. We have to work through the yeahs, including with the people we love and care about, to grow together, work together, make it happen. Michael, thank you so much. The point of this today was to exemplify how much goes into Hello to Yes, even with people that you've done everything with, right? Or not done everything, but done unbelievable things. Michael, we've done some unbelievable things. In one sentence, how would you encapsulate the things we've done together from your seat?
Yeah, I mean, Sean, having done this for 11 years, I've never met anywhere close to an attorney who's accomplished what you've accomplished in your career. And in the last 11 years, I can't think of a single attorney who is anywhere close to what we've accomplished in the legal career. And then you decided, yeah, you know what, I'm going to try something else on top of that as well. And then you've blown, you know, the roof off of that too. So, I mean, that's the only way I could describe it.
Yeah. And that's the formula, and that's what's up. Michael's got a flag in the ground. Love you, brother. And I'll talk to you later today. Deepak Frank. Thank you, Michael. Deepak Frank. D-Rush, you out there?
We got no D-Rush on.
No D-Rush. Okay. So want to put a flag in the ground. I think, Fernando, have we finalized next week's 8 a.m. calls yet? Of who's running?
As far as leadership, yes. D-Rush will be leading next week's 8 a.m. calls per Adam and team.
So D-Rush can keep this going. Frank, Deepak, and if we got Joe Hagan or Siobhan, you guys want to unmute, you're welcome to. But quick, if you had 15 seconds to put a flag in the ground and a loving message and challenge to D-Rush from you, Frank Clark, what would it be for leading this at 8 a.m. next week?
Stay focused, D-Rush. Stay in your heart, and keep tight on time blocking, man, or time integrity. That's the key to keeping it moving fast.
Awesome, brother. Deepak.
Yeah, time integrity is critical, and have some fun. Have some fun with it. Let's get this movement going. It's not just about work. Let's have some fun with this.
Amen, brother. So anybody wants to, we're gonna do something at 9 o'clock tomorrow night, by the way, to have some fun. And we're gonna find a way to virtually have a little bit of a fun challenge. So fun will be in the air over the weekend, to be sure, for those that are up for fun. Joe Hagan or Siobhan, Fernando, are they out there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Joe.
Hey, Joe, how are you, brother?
There he is.
I'm awesome. Thank you for asking.
Awesome.
Great job by Deepak and Frank. They owned it. Siobhan owned it. I think I owned it. And just own it, D-Rush. Just bring it. That's all.
That's it, Joe. Awesome job. And Siobhan, I just want to give Siobhan an opportunity. Okay. Going once, going twice. I wouldn't.
I believe Siobhan's not
Awesome.
here. Yes.
So let's go with this. 2 weeks after D-Rush next week, I want to go with a female leading the 8 a.m. for 2 consecutive weeks. It's going to be somebody from Elite. So if you'd like to throw your hat in the ring, please send a message to drum roll, please. Let's send a message on that to Chaz. So Chaz, just put your info in the chat, and so message Chaz on that. Chaz, you're director of the show until you're not, right? Having some fun. So let's make sure we have that in place. Awesome job this weekend. Let's see that real quickly. So Frank, Deepak, you guys ready for this weekend?
Yeah, brother.
We can absolutely. Yeah,
right.
Let's get this thing going.
All right.
It's like Christmas Eve here, Sean. It's like Christmas Eve, man. Let's open those gifts. Let's get it going.
And quick one, Sean and team, if we can bring up Diana, I believe she's going to be co-leading with D-Rush. She has her hand up, wants to share quickly. Yeah. So Diana, if you can jump in here and bless us with your energy.
And Sean, you're not just Peter Pan. You are also Santa Claus.
Well, SC, brother, right? Santa Claus, SC. I love it. So I appreciate that. And I do just I love giving, man. And
I know,
for the privilege and the blessing, and that warms my heart. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Diana? Everybody. Thank you so much. I'm going to step in and speak for the group. It's going to be D-Rush, Bella, me, and maybe Jason Sips. We're not sure about that yet. And what we're going to do next week is that this week we planted flags, and next week we're going to have magic wands for everybody. We're going to bring the magic to the group, fueled by the weekend, and continue it into the whole next week. And we're planning on it, so we don't have the plan nailed down exactly, but definitely it's going to be a continuation of the weekend, bringing in the magic and fun, and having many voices being heard.
Amazing. Listen, Diana, your leadership is present and rising, and this is what we need. Thank you. And are you ready for this weekend, Diana? Are you ready for this weekend?
I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm pumped. I have 4 people looking for the 5th one, and it's an honor to be part of this. And I just can't wait for the magic, because I know it's going to be LBI on steroids. And now that everybody can be part of it virtually all the time, inclusive, and the magic that we're creating into the world, the power, heart-centered warriors for truth. I am pumped.
And this is all about Diana, you, Joe, Frank, Siobhan, Deepak, Elle, Bella, Tatiana, like right down the list, right? This is about the emergence of you and your leadership, right? The rising of it together. Like that's what's happening. So I cannot wait. I'm immensely thankful. Adam Gugino, final from you, sir.
Yeah, the guttural why for me is to prove to my mom that I'm not nuts.
That was a big driver for me in 1997 when I quit my job at the big law firm, was to prove to everybody it wasn't nuts. And when we had my son Tyler's first birthday party on the roof of this house, the tears pouring down my face were tears of saying, at some level, I wish you would have believed me. I was thankful. I felt amazing. But I would be lying if I didn't say I was also thinking, I wish you would have believed me. Right? And it's okay to feel that way. Fernando, final.
Listen, that lands. I will echo those sentiments. My guttural is to, one, give gratitude for a very supportive family that has supported me through many, many crazy ventures, this one included. They may have no idea or understand or even comprehend what I do for a living. They are supportive, and I cannot wait to show them that the reason I'm doing it is for them and for that magic. So I'm looking forward to that moment as well.
And for me, when I sat in a car in about 2000, and I was talking about my desire to sell the law offices of Sean Callaghy and to go and build and do this, and I was in a call with a person I would consider to be a mentor, He's like, yeah. But how would you ever build something like that? You know, you got these people out there like Oprah and, you know, Tony Robbins, like whatever, like, you know, like, and I'm like, I'm not competing with anybody. I want to replicate that over and over and over again and have it actually work for more people than it's ever worked before. That's my outcome. And he's like, yeah, but you know, so for every yeah I've ever received, and because I think it's what God created me to do, right, was to find a way and to keep driving forward for people and for humans. That's what I feel like my calling is. And someday I'm going to be responsible for my talents. That's what I believe. I'm going to have the right answer. But every time I feel like saying, screw this, I'd rather go surfing, I think of the people going, yeah. Well, here comes yeah. And that energy, and have a little bit of that inside of you, that competitive fire to be like, you told me no. You told me I couldn't. You tried to play games, right? Okay, here we come. Unstoppable, invincible, in love, loving all people, unconditional boundaries. It is the unblinded, licensed professional immersion, but it's an immersion for all of us, the ecosystem merge and accelerate.